Wow, this is rush hour. Snow bunnies. Check out these brass windmills on the right here. Aren't those cool? So our next sugar camp is Mill Gap Farms. Right here on the right, just as we pass this hill, there'll be a little kiosk at the beginning of their driveway. And they're the only area's organic, 100% organic maple syrup producer. Yeah, it's right here. And then our next attraction is right next to it, Duff's Sugar House. And they're right here at this red house, and their setup's right behind it. There's the sign for it. Wow, this is a lot of traffic. It is Sunday, so this, in continuance of our head clearing theme, this to me, especially on a Goldwing, although I do miss my V-twins, but there's just something special about being on a road like this. It's smooth pavement in the highway gear, in wide open spaces for the most part. And on a Goldwing, it just feels like you're hovering, like you're riding on air. And you'll see coming up, this is one of those roads, if you don't get to ride on, you'll feel like you're missing out on something. And it would be a shame if no one ever got to ride it on a motorcycle, because this is one of those things that just typifies what a motorcyclist and a rider is after. And that's why I would highly encourage anyone, if they can't make the Maple Festival, even if they do, you're not going to really get the full effect of being able to ride out here on these empty roads. And coming back out here when things aren't as hectic, like this ranks right up there with a bona fide weekend plan or getaway, or it doesn't even have to be during the weekend. Come out and see us and spend a few days, and I'm sure it's going to rank right up there, enjoyment wise and experience wise, with every other trip that you've had. And I'm just fortunate to live here. Wow, all these people. I'll always remember the first time on this road. It struck me. There's an old, this is Mill Gap Supply on the left. It's the historic country store. People used to go there to get ice cream and tell stories. These mountains on the right appear to be slow dancing. And it grabbed my attention as soon as I was able to see them past those trees. It's like you get to a spot where you're in the highway gear and you're not even looking at the speedometer, and you know you're at highway speed, but it's still, you know, aside from a few of the trees on the side of the road or the fence, I mean, you just feel like you're just crawling. Especially if you can just focus on the mountains. Beautiful. There's another park up here on the right. It's got a pavilion with picnic tables in it. I would not advise bringing fried chicken because we're right on the edge of civilization, especially in the spring when the bears have come out. So we're going to come out on Valley Center Road here on the left when all said and done. This is Route 600. Upper Back Creek Road. Now this road, after about 5 miles or so, will turn into gravel and eventually end up on Route 250 a few miles this side of the West Virginia line. Look at that field. So the adventure sport crew might want to come check it out. I've found gravel on mountain roads sometimes is insult to gravel, like with the washboarding and ruts and runoffs, and it's usually, at least my experience, that's when I encounter dogs. And it's, you know, it's not like Chihuahuas. People out here are big fans of Great Pyrenees and Rottweilers and pit bulls. And a 900-pound motorcycle on one of those roads isn't exactly the nimblest of rides. You know, there is a limit as to how bumpy a road can be, which severely affects your maximum speed. And those dogs are fast. Yeah, check out the truck here. That has a wheelbarrow, like an old rusted out wheelbarrow with plants in it, along with plants in the truck. We'll get a better view of it on the way back, and I'll get back to it. I got a story to tell. Check out that log cabin on the left. That is just gorgeous. What a view that must have. And this is the maple sugar camp that has the beer. So this is Back Creek Farms here on the right. It's what you call a Highland County U-turn. Just enough slope. The horses are going like, "You lost?" Here's the pickup truck. Rose would be envious. We had a wheel end up in our driveway a few years back off of a tractor trailer. Like, there wasn't just the tire, It was like an actual NASCAR event where the wheel was just self-piloting down the racetrack, or in our case, Route 250. It went through the fence, and luckily it didn't hit any of our cars or Wendy. And I was still in bed. This happened like about 6:45 in the morning, and it sounded like we were getting a thunderstorm. I mean, it just made all kinds of racket. Shook the house. And once we got up and got our bearings and figured out what had happened, I thought it'd be a good idea to let the sheriff know. That way they can be on the lookout for a X-1 wheel tractor trailer set up. Let him know where his wheel is in case he wanted it. And I told him, but they better come quick because Rose might plant flowers in it. And she's got OFD or OPD, obsessive planning disease, along with obsessive feeding disorder. And she actually went out a couple weeks ago and bought a bag of dirt, and she this is no joke. We'll be on a ride, and I mean, she knows her horticulture like no one I've ever met, and she'll tap me on the shoulder. In addition to like moving turtles out of the road, we also have to stop for vegetation that she wants to repurpose somewhere a little closer, specifically our house or our yard, or yeah, so that's a thing. So she was planting some aloe she had found. I forgot where, but she was doing that last night. And she is definitely one of a kind, and I just love her to death. She just widens my horizons. Nurturer of all things. So we're going to do another little pause to keep the file sizes manageable. And we're back on 84. And our intimate tour of Highland County continues. We've got 3 more attractions, and anyone doing this for themselves shouldn't have to ask, and I'm pretty sure you're enjoying your ride thus far. If you would continue on, this will take you to Frost. So if you were doing a loop or heading out to somewhere like Snowshoe, chances are you'd be on this road. But you could, I think it's Route 28. You could head up to Greenbank, check out the telescope, and then come back on 250. So we're approaching Lower Back Creek Road, and on the right is Townsend Draft Goods, and they specialize in natural goods and products to help support a healthy lifestyle, and they're right here on the right in this barn. Coming up in about a mile or so is Virginia Backcountry Cabins, and they've got 10 uniquely themed cabins, including 2 motorcycle themed cabins. One's a classic motorcycle and one's a adventure motorcycle cabin. And they all have lofts with beds upstairs, and they're cozy, and they're off the beaten path, and provide one of those unique and different experiences. And it's another lodging facility in Highland County that we so desperately need. So if you're thinking about staying someplace, that'd be a good time too. So give them a call and check availability. They're right here on the right across from this house on the left. So that's where you know where it is. Yep, right there. And we got a little bit of sunshine. So if you were to go straight, and about 5 miles or so, give or take, you'll encounter the Bath County Pumping Station. And that's a hydro plant that generates electricity. So they've got 2 lakes at different elevations, and they pump water from the lower lake to the upper lake during the evening, and then they release it into turbines during the day, during peak hours, so they can provide enough electricity. But we're going to be turning left, and we're going to be driving by our last sugar camp. Pretty horse. So we actually had the good fortune of getting a tour of the pumping station a few years back. Probably been more than that. But we got to go into the pump house, which is this large concrete facility, much of which is underwater, and got to actually see the turbines and the, I forget what you call them, penstocks that divides the water into the different turbines. So yeah, that was fascinating. Many of you have taken the Hoover Dam tour. It was like that, but on steroids. We got to go into just about every square foot of that place. So I just discovered this a few days ago. Like, I saw a Facebook post from Highland County featuring Pleasant Brook Farms, which is straight ahead, the next compound. And they've been producing maple syrup on and off since the early 1900s. Pleasant Brook Farms. But when I first moved here, I used to confuse Lower Back Creek Road with another turn, and I'd go down it a ways and it would turn to gravel, and I was, well, this isn't Lower Back Creek Road. So this is going to end up back on 84 at that wrong turn I used to make, but now it's all paved, and like, this is wide, smooth pavement. This is like highway grade stuff. And it doesn't appear as if it's been salted. And there's an old post office up here on the left, which is cool. It's like a post office out of Green Acres or something.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me.
See if my eyes can pick up what city this is, or town, village. Valley Center Post Office. How cool is that? So I hope you all enjoyed our intimate little tour of Highland County. And I hope everybody gets a chance to come out and experience a little bit of Americana and help support some local businesses. And hope you all get a chance to come back and see us and do some riding and get to absorb these roads and the scenery and the vibe, and just step off the train for a little while and experience life as it was. I guarantee you, you're just going to have a great time, and you're going to remember it with fond memories and probably kick yourself for not having done it sooner. So thanks for watching Allegheny Motorcycle Adventures. Cheers and ride extraordinary.